Let's go. What's up, bro? We got a podcast in the metaverse, bro.
Yeah. Who knew that this is what it was all building up to through the entire first season? And now we are here kicking off season 2 with all of you guys, a live studio audience.
Let's go. Every Tuesday.
A podcast. We didn't even know what was happening. We're 15 episodes into this.
It seems to be helping and impacting a lot of people. We'll see you every Tuesday on the Well Metaverse podcast. Peace.
Easy. I don't know why I chuck deuces. Like I don't chuck deuces. What was that? Jason Earls, how are you, sir?
Brother, Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to you.
Let's go.
Man, I just I saw a post of somebody who got really riled up because people say Happy New Year's, and they're like, "It's Happy New Year," and I'm like, I think it's Happy New Year's possessive, like New Year apostrophe s. Like that.
That's
person,
funny.
Yeah.
Which one did I say? Did I say Happy New Year?
You said New Year. You said New Year.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Because I grew up saying New Year's.
Did you? Did you?
Yeah.
No, I think you said New Year.
Okay. That's cool. What's up, Sturm? Happy New Year's, buddy.
Sturm's in the house. What up, guys? How's it going? Is your new Sturm looks like he's on Team New Year's as opposed to New
Year's celebration. Well, celebration, yeah. That's Team New. Yeah,
New Year's celebrations. Yeah. Actually, that would be possessive, right?
So I grew up in my community, man. We put S's on everything.
Gotcha.
Barnes and Nobles, Targets, Walmarts.
So we have a Meijer.
That's in the country, brother.
We have Meijer up here in the north, in the Midwest, and a lot of people call that Myers. They add an S to it. And
yeah, man. So, dude, how was New Year for you? What y'all do?
I think I told you my daughter got snowed in for Christmas. So,
insane.
Yeah. So we went down to Frankenmuth, which is it's
stop.
a town.
Wait, time out. Franken what?
Frankenmuth. It's a little town over on.
Not a lot of black people in Frankenmuth, I bet.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah, that's
don't even sound like Frankenmuth.
Right. It's although I'll tell you what, there was we ate dinner at Zender's, which that too was predominantly white people throughout. I was a little thicker in the middle, and I felt perfectly at home in there. But there was a guy that was there greeting people and chatting people up and stuff, and like we talked a little. He asked me who my favorite bass player was, or actually he asked me if I played any sports in high school, and I said bass guitar. And he's like, well, who is your favorite bass player? I said, Victor Wooten. He didn't know who Victor Wooten was, though. So.
Dude, one of the greatest things that my kids do that I think is, they introduce older people to older bands. Man, my kid, my son.
Wait a minute. They introduce older people to older bands?
Yes. So there was one guy, Hispanic dude, who loves the that I don't know if you listen to any Hispanic, like traditional Hispanic music, is very high in the lower brass section. Tubas, trombones, trumpets. Trumpets not lower brass. Anyway, so my son's working with this dude in the kitchen at Chick-fil-A, and he was like, "You like this?" Dude was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Let me introduce you to Fred Wesley and the JBs." And he was like, "Who is that?" Do you know who Fred Wesley and the JBs are?
I don't.
You do, but you don't.
Okay, all right.
So James Brown signed with, I believe it was Capitol Records, and he tried to leave because he was like, "Man, they milking me. They get me for all this money. I'll do better on my own." And then so he broke away. They were like, "Coach, sure, go ahead, you can leave, but we have your voice under contract." you can start your own label, but you can't sing. And James Brown was like, okay, I'll take my band. His band was called the JBs, and his trombone player was called Fred Wesley. So basically, with Fred Wesley and the JBs, you have all the James Brown funk without James Brown singing. It's my favorite band, dude. And so now my kids, since they were little, they jam out to Fred Wesley and the JBs. Then on a road trip, if you pull up my kids' playlist for when we go on road trips, it's old school. Like my kid, one day my son was like, Dad, can you play Rod Bass? It Takes Two. I was like, I can die and go to heaven now.
That's great. That's great. I gotta write that down though. Fred Wesley,
bro, it will bless your socks off. Especially if you like, you being a dude who likes bass guitar.
Yeah.
You like Bootsy Collins?
Bootsy Collins?
Bootsy Collins.
Bootsy Collins?
Yeah.
I don't know. Not yet, but I bet I will by the next
time we
talk.
You know Bootsy Collins. You just don't know that you know Bootsy Collins.
Yeah.
It's great, man. Bro.
Yeah. Man, so all right. So because this was over New Year's and my daughter wasn't there for Christmas, like we exchanged Christmas gifts, and my kids got me this like water bath foot massager thing, which like I don't know how much older I've gotten in the last year, but for Christmas I got socks, foot massager, suspenders, and I don't know, maybe I should have gotten a handful of whittling sticks and a pocket full of Werthers. Like, I mean, man, oh man. And but here's the thing, I love it. little knitting. Yeah. Oh man, getting things done is
my dude Jay Dunn.
Great.
Jay Dunn is one.
He says, "Come," and this was during your walk back in music history, and come on, P-Funk.
Yeah. Yo, Jay Dunn is just like, man, he's one encouraging dude. I would say to anybody, follow Jay Dunn.
Absolutely.
Getting things done on YouTube. Follow him on Instagram. I'm just always encouraged by this dude. He's super invested in the metaverse. Always, got his ear to the ground on what's new, what's popping in the metaverse, and just a great dude. Loves his wife, is a faithful husband. Dude, he's just a great brother.
I don't know if you saw it or not. He and his wife just got recognized on Good Morning America.
Really?
For what they're doing. Yeah,
bro. He's killing it, man.
Killing it. Yes,
killing it. And he just texted me a little while ago, just to say what's up. Happy. He said Happy New Year.
He's one of those guys that.
No, he didn't say that. I said that. He did.
Oh,
I actually said knee year. My bad. Typos, bro.
At least you didn't say knee years.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
great dude, man.
He's one of those guys too that just reaches out. Just like you're talking about. He shot you a message this morning. Like that's cool. There's a handful of folks like that you just boom, you just hear from them. Jason from
you know him really well.
Yeah, Jason, what's his name? Like,
what's that dude's name?
Yeah, from Sun Valley. He'll do that. Just randomly reach out. Oculus, of course, is a big one.
Yo, and I just want to say to everybody watching, it's once again, who you are in real life is magnified in the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
And so, man, when you see great folks, man, reach out to them, connect, because again, if you're new to the Oculus world, to this meta world, just know that you got a community of people who really want to help. And it's probably it's one of the best communities that I've come in contact with here recently. I've got great meta friends, man, who just, you and I were friends outside the metaverse before the metaverse existed, but now you got guys like Exterminator, folks like Kimberly, and you got Jay Dunn, just all great folks who, and you experience, man, all of your friends in the metaverse, dude, really wanted to honor you over the Christmas holiday, bro. And once I really came up for air and I started seeing all the messages of people trying to reach out to me to make sure that I can get into this book that they will make for you to honor you, man, it just says a whole lot about this community, bro.
It's an honor to be a part of this community and see the way that these guys come together to support each other, and in that case, supporting me and and saying, hey, we want you to know that you're appreciated on this holiday season. Like it's so necessary, for the people that are leading an organization to hear that.
Right.
It's so important to know that that what's happening is resonating with the people enough to say thanks. Hey, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
It's cool, and it got me. It got me in the feels,
Yeah.
Here it is. Like this book's going to be on my desk from now on, and
Yeah, absolutely. We can tell because your neck is still white, but your face is getting pinker. Let's see.
Yeah, I gotta have a T-shirt underneath the shirt so I can have my suspenders on.
Dude, that is. Hold on, time out. Dude.
Time out.
How did you go from not wearing suspenders to now wearing suspenders every day?
It's like, I don't know, man.
Were you a sagger that much?
It's so much more comfortable. I wasn't sagging, but my belts just had to keep getting tighter and tighter to keep them drawers up. Like, it's it's all right with the suspenders. Like, I can get up, I can bend over and pick stuff up and not have to worry about, like, man, how old have I gotten in the last year? It's crazy.
Dude, super old. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, Doug Smith, man, dude, this is a great dude that I've met. Just one of those. He's a band guy, dude. Yeah. In fact, I did an event with him and his bandmate PJ down in Atlanta, dude. And listen, dude, you talk about star-studded.
Yeah,
these are all dudes who've played and who play with the best of the best. And all of us, we just did this men's event down in the ATL. Just such an amazing, powerful event. And dude, all these cats have played on the circuit with some of the greats that you know of. Some of the music that you all jam to, that we jam to with our kinfolks. Dude, these dudes have played part in that. So,
that's cool.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
And he says there's such thing as a meta praise. Yes, it is, brother. Come on. Come on, somebody.
Yeah. Man, so you're talking about the community and reaching out and connecting with people. This morning, I got a message from a friend of mine. And this dude, I'll just tell you who it is. It's Hardy West, everybody. So we got Hardy West coming up soon. So like this is going to be cool. Good dude. But he reached out this morning, and Hardy's a guy who has been a trailblazer since he got on here. He was doing things before anybody else in some ways, and he's had some successes. He's had some challenges. And this morning he reached out to me and he said, "Hey, Aaron, it's Hardy. Could really use some words of encouragement and direction whenever you're free." And we connected briefly on the phone this morning, but I said, "Man, I know a guy. I know a guy that, encouragement and direction just happens to be his forte." So I have invited him to come join us. And so let's give it up for my friend Hardy West.
What's going on?
We need a DJ to introduce this brother.
That's right.
Honor to be here.
Getting things done says, hey, dope. Hardy West is in the building.
Absolutely. We're on celebrity status today, y'all.
Yeah. And Sturm in his best British accent says, hello there.
That is funny.
Yep. And to tie out the hello there from Sturm, he also commented that he's wearing suspenders right now. So
yeah, clearly that's not that. Yeah, the brothers, we ain't gonna rock suspenders unless we got on. It's at a wedding with with no jackets on.
All right, you're not wearing them just to wear them, huh?
No, we're not rocking them. We're not rocking them on our polo shirts.
All right. All right. Well, man, Hardy, I got to tell you, dude, it was an honor to get a message from you, and like not only does it mean a lot that leaders in the community want to connect and kind of just reevaluate where we're heading together and what we're doing, but you specifically as such a trailblazer, such an innovator, like to hear from you and say, hey man, let's connect and talk things through. It's a huge honor. So thank you for that, man.
No problem. Yeah, I was telling you, it's not really, being like the first to do, a lot of the things in the metaverse and in Horizon. It's difficult because you don't have like the blueprint. Like we're literally creating the blueprint as we go every day. And I think for me, like you're that guy, like you're the blueprint. And yeah, got to get it from the source. So that's why, and I don't know if you knew that, but I definitely look up to what you're doing and inspired to do the same.
Well, thanks, man. And I'll tell you, exactly what you're doing is exactly the first step in what led to my success. I mean, early on, I reached out to Jason because Jason is a guy who, like, creative strategy. This dude, like, I mean, he just can't help it. Like, he just starts talking, and it's just A++ creative strategy just pouring out of him. Plus, he's got this biblical foundation of wisdom. And you know what? Some people listening are Christian, some people are not. It kind of doesn't matter because, I mean, it matters a lot, but it doesn't matter as far as pulling wisdom from the Bible. Because whatever your standpoint is, there is wisdom in the Bible that can help us through any kind of scenario that we're facing. There's wisdom. And as Jason always says, like, there's this verse, and and man, I'll tell you what, like, for me, like, the first thing that I did that laid the foundation for success in the metaverse was I found a mentor. I found a role model. I found a friend that we could connect regularly and talk things through. And so I wasn't flying solo. I wasn't on my own. I was in a group. I was in a team, and we were heading there together.
Yeah, that's definitely, with 2023 here and it being the second year for me, I think it's like important that I try new things to get the new results. I think as far as visitors retention, having a banging world and stuff, like I've accomplished all of that stuff in 2022, but there's something missing. There's something missing, and something has to change. So that's why I'm reaching out, and I want to make myself more willing to accept criticism, advice and everything.
So what makes you think something wants to
boom, and he's frozen, just like that. He froze. We didn't hear your question.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
So I was asking, what are you seeing that makes you think something needs to change?
It's not, I'm just seeing the same things. I don't know, what else is out there. But it's kind of getting like kind of repetitive, and yeah, like my worlds they do pretty good, so I have that part figured out. I think what I see with your world, the community aspect, the events, the team type of thing, um, that's something that I really want to explore. It's just for me, it's kind of difficult to recognize how do I do it? How do I go about it the right way? Because a lot of people look at me a certain way, because of the position I put myself in when I first got in, and the way I kind of put a shield up last year. So, I kind of want to redirect and lean more into the community and let people know that, hey, Hardy needs help too. Like Hardy isn't bulletproof, or invincible. I need help too. So
You said a lot there, man.
yes, it's been a I think because like last year, me coming in and being like a trailblazer and coming up with these ideas that a lot of people um, never explored. I put myself in a tough spot because not everybody was used to it and not everybody agreed to it. Mostly the people that was there early on. So, um, you know, it was like I was put in a position that was frowned upon and stuff, and it's been hard navigating Horizon and the community with that behind my name. Um,
Can I make a couple observations?
mhm.
So, man, I can hear this pain in your voice. I can hear the fact that when you're looking at how parts of the community are viewing you, or perceiving you, it's not what you want, and that hurts.
Mm,
I
yeah,
hear you talking about plateauing and wanting to continue to be that trailblazer and wondering what happens now. I hear you.
mm,
I hear you wanting the people around to be on Team Hardy West, where everybody's rooting for your success.
right.
And I'll tell you, you are an incredibly strong person. Like seeing you come up against some of the things that you did in your first year in Horizon and push through, see you reinvent yourself completely and pivot towards Hardy World Spades. Like that's incredible. But the most incredible thing, the strongest thing that I see is you coming on this show, being vulnerable and saying, "Man, I'm hurting. I need help. I need help from the community." Dude, man, I got admiration for you, dude.
Yeah, it's like I said, like we this has never been done before. A lot of people come up to me with complaints and you know wanting me to help them, and it's like you don't want to be in my spot. Do not do not look at me and think that it's all good. So that's a big reason why I know I have to do something different this year, and it's the third day of the year, and I'm working on it. I'm working on it every chance I get.
Yeah.
Yo, first, dude, big shout out what I see is unique about you is, and most people won't get this, but I'm like, even as we had a brief opportunity to talk before we went live, I'm like, here you got to do with what I call the coveted New York flavor that's down south. Like, dude, that is one of the greatest combos because most people in the world don't understand that New Yorker. The New Yorker is like, yo, let's get it.
Right.
But then God allows you to migrate down south, which brings you this unselfishness, this how can I help other people, which is a great combo. And then I think of this verse that says, man, what profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? It's like the idea of, man, you can be at the top of your game, but still, as you said, man, there's still just some stuff missing. It's, so ultimately when I hear that, it's like, yo, what is ultimately, like, what's the end goal that I believe that God is doing with you? And just like, what is it that if you're showing success and all just about whatever you touch in the metaverse, you like Aaron Sorrels, the unemployed alcoholic, like y'all stuff turning to gold. It's like y'all got the golden goose factor, but yet it's still some stuff that, man, that you need. First of all, bro, it's that, like, the humility that you're showing and just like reaching out. Again, it's this aspect of, one mentor said, together everybody achieves more. Because you've already achieved greatness, but you're not satisfied, means that God's got more for you. So it's kind of like what we in Christianity we call the resurrection principle. It's like, yo, like, regardless of how bad something can get, it's like your reputation, you say, was some. Regardless of how dead something can be, there's hope that thing can turn around. The question becomes, how do you turn it around? It's like Aaron said, man, you starting there. And you even said it yourself, like, you 3 days in, but you're reaching out. But what does the reaching out look like? One thing that I've learned in watching Aaron and even watching you now, it's full transparency, full authenticity. As my New York friends would say, you got to be real. And and we, like, I gather that from you right now. It's like, yo, you ain't, like, dude, you ain't got no fluff about you. Even if I bring a joke, you like, yo, I ain't trying to joke right now. I got some stuff. I'm trying to get straight, bro. And yeah, and that, like, dig in, lean into that. And that's why we're here to help. Even you got somebody in the comments already saying being official Gomez games. My bad, Gomez. You can tell I'm in Texas. I think everything's Gomez. There it is. Like, I'm here for you, bro. Let's collab. So that's all I got to say. Go ahead.
That's what he said. As it comes off as intimidation, especially for those who want the similar success as you. I think that happens a lot with me. They see Spades, they see the Starcade, they see a lot of things that I've done, different client builds and stuff. And I was telling Aaron that I know I come off like I don't need help. I know I come off like I got it all figured out. That's just my creativity. But I feel like I hit a ceiling. Like, I hit a ceiling, and at this point, it's like, okay, I can keep doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results. But I'm just hitting. Okay, the world is hot, but I just want more, and I want to start with the Spades world and building the community in the Spades world, because it's the number one spot for me, and I wanted to be a home for not only Spades players but people just in the community, to come and have a good time.
Let me go first, and I'll tee it up with Aaron. One verse I always share with Aaron, and even with other people, just as being a dude from Portsmouth, Virginia, the youngest in the family. There's this verse says, "Under these things, the earth quakes; underfoot it cannot stand." Then that joint says, "When a servant becomes a king," and it's not saying that a servant can't become a king, but it's like when a regular dude gets exalted on this big time level, there has to be a shift in his thinking. And if he still operates in the king position as one who is just a servant, then it jacks everything up. Nothing can stand. And so it takes being able to look at, developing different systems. Like some cats were like, man, don't ever change. Well, dude, if you blowing up, you gotta change. Like there's some habits that you have that may have got you there, but won't necessarily sustain you there.
Mm-hmm.
And so what does that look like? And if you're longing to have a community, I would say, what is your heartbeat? What is the deepest desire for that community to be when you like in the spades world?
It's turning into that. I've had victims of domestic violence find peace in the spades world. We actually had a lady who she beat cancer. She comes to the spades world. She started coming while she was going through chemo. She finds peace there. On my Instagram, I actually have a video of a guy saying that spades, actually, stop him from committing suicide. Like him coming into Horizon and finding the spades world and the spades community helped him. It basically saved his life. And for me, I had an aunt that she's passed. Her name was Rose, and it was around the time when I was a teenager and I was getting into a lot of things I shouldn't have been getting up in Rochester, New York. My mom started sending me over to her house, and over there we would play spades all day, and I fell in love with the game. It literally saved my life too, kept me out of the streets. Got me close to the family. I learned a lot of things at the spades table, not only about the game, but about life, So I think, bringing that to the metaverse in the past 6 months, I've seen it happen. I've seen people grow, literally. They will come in as trolls, and now they're anti-troll,
Absolutely. I love when that happens.
because they realize like, being myself is better than than not being myself and maybe ruining somebody else's day, because now people ruin their day, and and you'll see and a lot of those people have more than one account, because when they initially came in, they gave off the wrong energy, and now they have to rebrand themselves because they realize how serious it is, how real it is. And just I don't want to say, because the metaverse is not an escape. It is. I don't like when people say it's an escape. I think it's an enhancement. It can be an enhancement.
That's good.
It can be a shelter for some people. It can be a piece of paradise. It can be whatever you want it to be. And I want spades to be that for people, by holding events, doing more tournaments, kind of incentivizing the players in the community for spending time in there and just being a part of the community. There's people learning how to play spades in spades, so.
Listen, bro, spades kept me off the streets in college, but also almost got me kicked out of college. I played so much.
Yeah. Man, I got a couple things have kind of come to mind here that I'd like to share, and one's a general idea, and then one's a very specific strategy. But in general, the best type of success is the kind that you just got to get out of the way of.
Mm-hmm.
The best kind of success is the kind that you just are being pulled along by it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the kind of success that you're pushing the rock up the hill and doing it through brute force, it's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, that rock's going to roll back down on you.
Hmm.
So, in general, like for all of us, we got to take the pulse. And are we getting out of the way of success, so it can happen, or are we brute forcing it? Because if we're brute forcing it, we got to take a breath and say, okay, what am I doing? So that's kind of a general concept, but a very specific strategy and idea is to focus. What I've tried to do with the soapstone is to go as deep as I can in a very focused thing. I have one world.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on one platform. I have one community. We're doing one thing. We're focused and deep. And because of that, we're able to achieve things that we would not be able to achieve if I was on 5 different platforms.
All right.
If I had a dozen worlds that I was trying to build community around. Like if it wasn't focused and deep, it would be wide and shallow.
Mm-hmm.
So you lit up when you started talking about spades. You lit up because there's meaning there, there's community there. Man, I would encourage you to deep dive and focus on that. Now, if you got opportunities to make some money building on the side, I'm not saying don't do that. Like, do that. But rather than try to be everything to everybody, be great for some people. You know what I mean?
Right.
And go ahead.
No, that's kind of what I started to realize towards the end of 2023 was that spades is my Mona Lisa, and I was really neglecting it, and that's why I built the hall with 3 tables in it, and it's been doing well. I've been listening more to the community, kind of wanting to make the experience better for them. I'm actually hosting the first town hall this Thursday where I want the feedback. I want them to give me as much feedback and just help me help the community, help me make this place, uh, you know, I just want people to feel like it's theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the number one thing. I just want them to feel like it's theirs because, I built it for them.
Yeah.
I can't play spades by myself.
Yeah.
So that's
Dude,
what they're trying to do.
I was just Aaron and I laughing because I think we're thinking the same thing, dude. This is the same conversation that Aaron was having with me before the blow up of the soapstone. The same exact burden and everything.
Yep.
So I'll share with you what I shared to him, and I'll let him add to it because he probably can add a whole nother layer to it now. But I share with him this, man. One, culture eats strategy for breakfast.
Mm.
Culture eats strategy for breakfast. So right now, bro, whatever the culture is, if the strategy is different and it isn't cohesive to the strategy, your culture is not the strategy is not going to be implemented, because as soon as you start to roll out that program, the culture rules. It's just like it's going before breakfast. Like, what we got for the day? So then the idea is, first of all, there has to be a culture shift. And that's why I asked you earlier, man. Like, when you look at your heart, man, what does your heart say you want that culture to be? And then based off of that, you begin to do what I call the camp principle. So I worked at a lot of youth camps. And so the goal for a youth camp is to allow it to be off the charts. It's the same thing with stand-up comedy. At a stand-up comedy show, there are going to be some people who just don't laugh. What you want to do is make sure that the amount of people who laugh outweigh the amount of people who don't laugh. So when the people who not laughing, they look at themselves and say, what's wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so at a camp, you want to make sure you get everybody who's working at the camp, everybody who's all your camp counselors, all the camp workers, everybody who's considered leaders will get a paycheck from camp. Like, hey, when we do this chant, everybody's standing up, everybody's going off. So then the campers like, what's wrong with me? So then the campers who you influencing, they automatically gonna follow the camp counselors. So then you got that one or two campers who like, I don't like this camp, this joint is whack. Mm-hmm. But when everybody else is having a good time, they're like, yo, well, maybe I need to just join in. So that's why I call it the camp principle. So you look at, and what I told to Aaron is, man, you got to empower other leaders, other people who reinforce the community. So when a person steps into the world who are, whether they're antagonistic to the culture that you want to create, those leaders begin like, that's not how we roll in here. That's not what we do. And you empower those people.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that was, I definitely, wanted to take that out of Aaron's book, with the working for mad respect. I really like that. And, I started playing with the ideas of like moderators and stuff, a little after I launched Spades, but because you got to have some tough skin to be up in Spades, right? Most of these people, they're not even going to listen, probably.
Yeah.
And so to be a moderator, like, you really have to, and I think trying to figure out a way to implement, a welcoming committee or, a moderator, it's been rough, man, because for anyone that, that does want to take on that responsibility, it's going to come with a lot of backlash, and that's definitely something I definitely need some help with.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, really, what Jason's talking about there, culture eats strategy for breakfast. What you're talking about is a strategy of bringing in moderators. But what Jason's talking about is the culture. What are those moderators going to stand for? What are they going to do? And it does, like in the soapstone, we've got our house rules. We don't want racist or homophobic jokes. We don't want people to be derogatory towards other people groups. And we don't want the graphically sexual stuff, vulgar profanity, but what does all that really mean? Because that's the surface thing. What's underneath that? What does that really mean? That just means we can laugh, we can do comedy without disrespecting each other. Like, that's the heartbeat of it. So that's the culture. And there's been a bunch of people that are phenomenal people that have locked in with that culture and been like, yes, we are quite literally Team Soapstone. We are willing to come in and work towards creating this culture for mad respect, and now that's translated into some paid opportunities for some folks, which is awesome. Like, that's the best case scenario when you got people that are doing it for the intrinsic reward. They're doing it because they line up and they agree with who you are and what you're doing. And then you get to pay them. Yeah,
That's so good.
that's where it's at. And people come in all the time and they're like, "Hey, tell me about these paid opportunities." And I'm like, "Well, you got to qualify first. And how do you qualify? Through volunteer opportunities. So if you're saying, no, I don't want any of those volunteer opportunities, you're never going to get a paid opportunity, you know."
Mm-hmm.
But again, to kind of tie that ribbon around it, like, you got to figure out what you stand for, because again, the culture in the spades world is probably going to be quite a bit different than the culture in the soapstone, and that's okay. And it doesn't all have to be like, it doesn't all have to be clean comedy. You can stand for stuff and still allow flexibility for cultural differences, but you got to know, and all your people got to know what you stand for.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go to the drawing board on that. I do have like rules for the game. Like no party chats, no both going on mute because they could be on the phone talking to each other about their hands. No disrespect and stuff like that. But I think what I'm hearing today is it got to be more than the game. You know,
Yeah.
because a lot of
You,
things that go on in spades have nothing to do with the game.
right.
Right.
uh, so so that part I do have to figure out.
So you got. I think you think of it like this: if you were having a spades tournament at your house, you got a spades sort of table set up in your living room, in your den, and your kitchen, and your dining room. You got all these spades tables set. What is it that you would want the tone to be set in your house?
Mhm.
So when people come into your crib, what's the flavor you want them to have? What do you want to go on, and what is it that you don't want to go on?
Mhm.
And that's I would say imagine that metaverse world is your house. And
Mhm.
like when you got all these people showing up from all over the world coming to your crib, what's the feel of the crib? Like so when you come to the Earls crib, this is my house here in Texas. One thing I want, man, I want you to feel welcome. I want when you pull up in the driveway or in front of my house, typically, people wait till you knock on the door. If I know that you're on your way, I'm opening the door before you as you get out of the car. Yo, welcome to the Earls crib. Welcome to my hood, the Bergs. And I'm gonna greet you at the sidewalk and I'm gonna walk you in my house.
Mhm.
And when you walk across that threshold, I'm like, yo, everybody. My kids run downstairs, my wife come from wherever she is, and everybody introduce themselves. And then I'm like, yo, this is the Earl's crib, Mikasa Sukasa, you know,
Yeah.
and I want and my kids know that my desire, my prayer has always been, God, let my house be a place of refuge from this wicked world.
Oof,
To where when people come into my house,
man.
they experience peace, they experience joy. So we're gonna laugh a lot at my crib. We might turn on some music. We're gonna dance some. We gonna sit down. Everybody's gonna sit at the table. We're gonna eat. We don't have a we're not gonna put the kids at the table. My wife and I built the long table so it can fit 14 people, so we can sit and have conversation. If you were from out of town, you've been staying at our house, man, we're gonna go around like we do highlights and lowlights. I'll say, hey, everybody give, Hardy West a highlight from him being at our crib. Because I want you to leave my house encouraged. And so those are all standards that my kids know and my wife know. These are Earl standards. This is the culture of the crib. Now we hope that you got some clean socks on, that your feet don't stink. But that's not necessarily a rule. That makes stuff better. So
Yeah.
somebody will get like, yo, your feet is cranking, bro. Get this Febreze. Like, here goes some other socks. But there's certain things. So what are those things that you want people to experience in your house or in your world? And I think that's where you start.
We have some ideas. I had this past Christmas we had a big influx of new players, and I went in to one of the instances, and I met this woman. It was her first. It was actually her second day on, and she had told me that she was waiting to play a game for like 2 hours the previous day, and she couldn't get on the table. And the second day, and I was like, okay,
Wow.
well, we can create another instance and go into another instance, and I let, some of the veterans and OGs in there know, like, hey, if you guys lose, like, let someone else play. Like, I don't have that on the wall, but if because now, you got someone that's coming in. They have a lot of issues with playing with new people. They want to check their XP, check their wins. Oh, you ain't got no wins, I'm not playing with you, which is a problem. Um, a lot of people that come in there for the first time, they know how to play spades. They just don't know how to grab the pointer, bid the hands, the actual how to do it. How to actually play in the world. But a lot of them are great space players. So once they do figure that out, they prove themselves. And that's one thing that I wanna kind of build on is, if there's people waiting around, you know, create another instance, take them into another world, and let them actually play and get their feet wet. Don't look at the XP and judge them off of that. Um, so that's something I'm really working on figuring out.
Bro, what if you just said some stuff there? What if one first thing? So there's this principle in Christianity called discipleship principle. And
Mhm.
so basically it's bringing another person to your level of maturity. And so one thing that the verse says, man, the things that you've learned, those things from me, and trust those to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. So kind of my litmus test of who do I help bring towards maturity is the cats who are showing themselves as faithful.
Mhm.
That so if you take that principle into the space where it's like, who are the cats who are showing themselves as faithful, always showing up in the room, always showing up in the world, and then from there you begin to vet those cats to see, okay, who can I bring from this faithful category to their now this hosting category and give them a name. And I think you just said a name, like, yo, you are a space where like these are my OGs. And everybody know if you play spades, especially if you come from our community, you know when that term OG is not given lightly. Like
Mhm.
you just don't pass out that term. So if you're an OG, that's instantly saying everybody respects you and everybody's looking towards you for leadership. And so you like, okay, so what are the OG? What are the standards of an OG? Now you might want to come up with another name, but if you're a space world OG, then you're expecting to settle the room. If a new person come in, then that OG is saying, yo, you know, yo, we got some people here now play. In fact, yo, when this person lose, you come over here with or I'm gonna play with you. And let
Mhm.
me kind of and that OG is consistently reinforcing the culture to the person who comes in. Like in every instance, your OGs or whatever the term is, the title you give to those people that you've trained, that are the bona fide leaders of your culture, they know that their job is to reinforce the culture. Dude, it's I got this book right here called The 1 Minute Manager. This is a great book. And what he's talking about, like to give 1 minute praises. So what another thing that the OG does and that you do is whenever you see somebody modeling or doing what you want the culture to create, you shout them out about it. You like give them this quick 1 minute short, yo, what you just did, how you invited that person, that's what we want to do. And yo, that's what this world, one of the things that this world is all about. We need you to keep doing that and empower other people to do that, do the same thing. And that you begin to spread culture by them OGs.
That's some good advice, man. It's some real good advice, and it's something I've been thinking about, and you just help me think of some new things. Yeah, yeah. The culture, and it's crazy because while you were saying that, I already thought of probably like 4 people, that actually does it. You know, I just haven't given them a title or anything like that. But I know I have those type of people in the world.
One thing I'd add to that too, yeah, it's awesome. Like that's exactly what should be happening. As you hear that, you should be like, oh, this is my dude for that. This guy can do that. This lady is showing that already. Already be thinking about that. And and you need to be able to connect with them more frequently than in world. So I know you've got a Facebook group set up. That's good. Start a chat group within that Facebook group that's for the OGs. Or eventually you'll get to the point where, for structure's sake, you'll have to move it to Discord, so that you can have different channels. But have regular communication. I mean, I meet via Discord, group chat, video chat, every week with different components of my team. The leads that we have, which we've got a handful of folks that each have a very specific function that they lead. We've got that group, and we meet on Sundays, and then on the off Sundays from that, we meet with everybody who's a certified producer in the Soapstone, and we meet and we talk through stuff. We also laugh together, and keep it a little bit light, because after all, when people are working for Mad Respect, it can't be, it can't get too heavy all the time. It needs to get heavy. It needs to get real. It needs to be, hey, this is a problem we're facing. This is what we're going to do. But man, if we get to the point where we're not enjoying each other's company, then we've lost it.
Yeah.
This joint. So I'll text this to you. But so this is the 1 minute praises. It works well. All right. It says the first half minute, so the first 30 seconds, you praise people as soon as possible. 2, let people know what they did right. Be specific. Tell people how you feel about what they did right and how it helps. Then you pause for a minute, allow the people time to feel good about what they've done. And then you encourage them to do more of the same and make it clear you have confidence in them and support their success. Aaron does this without even thinking. Like, I see Aaron doing this all the time. Like, Aaron he'll pause and in the metaverse, his avatar do like this. And then he'll do like this. And he's like, can I just tell you? And then he'll do all that. He'll tell them what they did right. He'll tell them how it makes them feel. He'll pause for a moment. And then he'll move on to tell them, hey, man, keep on doing it, and give them opportunities to do more.
Yeah. And like that right there is such a gift to people, to take a moment and genuinely and specifically appreciate them. It changes people's days. It changes people's lives. Like that right there. I said the culture in the Soapstone is respecting each other, and like not coming at each other and stuff, but appreciating each other is just as much, if not more. And yeah, it's it's awesome. Sorry, I don't know where this comment came from, James Stern, but my trousers would fall down. I think he's still talking about suspenders, but
I hope he's talking about suspenders.
Right. Seeing y'all real world makes me so shy. I'm not shy in meta. All right. All right, sorry, I had to
It's all
U-turn
good.
there. Yeah, this is the nature of our calls too. Like it's like we get heavy, we get deep from time to time, and then all of a sudden somebody says something off the wall, and we take a minute to laugh. Yeah. But man, yeah, and on that point, dude, I can feel the weight that you're carrying right now. I can feel the responsibility
Indeed.
that you feel about, what you're trying to achieve and what needs to come out of it. I can feel that. And I really want you to walk away knowing that you, sir, are doing it. You, sir, are trailblazing. You, sir, are representing your community. You, sir, are creating places for your community to thrive in. You're doing it, man. You're doing it.
Indeed. And dude, and I would say, man, pay attention to the unsettling. It's when I feel unsettled, typically I know God is doing some stuff. He wants me to dig in deeper. He wants to take me higher and take me deeper and take me wider. So man, don't ignore that. It's I got mad respect for you. Clearly you just this dude who you about your business. Clearly you've shown success. But at the same time, it's like, well, not but at the same time, it's, man, what I'm sitting here thinking as I'm feeling you, bro. I'm like, okay, man, God, what else is it that you're doing with this brother? Because it's clearly some great and some big stuff. So I say, I ain't got all the answers to that. I know who does. So just lean into that, bro. And I'm here for you to bounce off stuff as much as you want to. I mean, Aaron will tell you that, dude, you can hit me up at any moment. And I don't always have the answers. I typically know kind of the right questions to ask, or just ask some questions till we find out where we need to go. But yeah, bro, lean in, go get it.
Yeah. That's definitely my plan for this year. I think from the outside looking in, or from the outside looking at Soapstone and then seeing all the success that Aaron had, I read that end of the year post and I'm like, man, like it's crazy. And Spades is that.
That's what I said when I read it. I was like, whoa.
Like Spades is I think at the height, I think the most on the highest retention I've seen was like 50 minutes, average on person, and I was approached by someone from Meta and said, like, your world is like crushing it retention wise, and it's like I'm battling with myself, and I don't want to battle with myself. I just want to just make what I have better, and grow what I have. Because me just trying to beat myself with another world or whatever it just gets me the same result. So, I'm looking at what Aaron's doing, and I'm just like, man, listen, like, I have people that come to me and I give them advice and everything, and I'm appreciative that you guys are helping me with leaning into this new year and all the things I want to accomplish. But if I was in the same position as you, Aaron, with the Soapstone, I wouldn't hesitate to help someone either. So yeah, I appreciate you doing that and bring me on the show and all of that. So I just want to give you your flowers while I'm on here, and let you know you're the guy for me. Like, you're the guy I'm looking at. Like, I don't really look at too many other worlds and ideas. Like, I have my world, like you have yours and everybody else has theirs, but you're the guy for me. So I'm watching you.
Well, great. Now I got a lot of pressure on me.
Hey, And he's allergic to flowers, so
That means a lot, dude. That means a lot. I appreciate hearing that. And we lost Jason for a second there. But man, I got to tell you, this has been so good to chat with you today. Jason, I don't know if you can hear me, but your video is gone and you got some static. So I removed you from the feed. As soon as I see a clear picture on you backstage, I'll bring you back in. And actually we're just about out of time, or we're a little bit over time anyway. But man, this has been such a good conversation. Again, I just want to leave you encouraged that you're doing great things. You're in the right spot to be looking around and saying, okay, what's next? But don't forget to appreciate what's now. Don't forget to take a moment and recognize and enjoy where you're at. Because you've achieved things, you've had opportunities, you've made relationships, you've done stuff that is unique and will never happen again. So enjoy it and relish it, and then buck up and move on to the next thing.
Yeah. That's the plan. That's definitely the plan.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you. I know I can see you and Jason, or you and Jason continuing to connect, because we need community around us, and you need a couple mentors that you can bring those personal challenges to, and you need a team with you that you can help elevate and help them achieve the things that they want to achieve. So I think Team Hardy West is going to get a whole lot bigger in 2023, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you guys all for hanging out with us. On Friday at 11 a.m. we'll be in the World Jason Earls Productions, doing the in-studio version of this show, and then of course next Tuesday we'll be back here at noon Eastern, and we'll go from there. So thank you.
I say Friday. The first word that we hop to is go play some spades.
You know what?
I'll go to Hardy West World. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go play some spades. Because I'll tell you, I can play some spades now.
I'll roll out the red carpet. I'll roll it out.
All right. Yeah, I'm down with that. Let's go play some spades.
Meet us there, everybody. Everybody meet us in Jason Earls World.
Yep, we'll start in Jason Earls, and then we'll head over to spades. So, all right, everybody. Thanks. We'll see you Friday.
Peace.